Welcome, the debut podcast, Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We are thrilled that this is finally up and running, off the ground, on the ice, skating, moving forwards. This is our new podcast, and I'm joined with myself, Brownie, with Linda Lundergan and Kelly Dyer-Hayes, and we're here to talk women's hockey.
We certainly are. What is this? BTG Take 3?
Yeah, Take 3, yeah.
BTG Productions is not quite where we need it to be yet.
Hey, we're getting our skating legs under us.
That's right. That's
hey,
right.
If it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Well, I'm psyched to be here. I think we talked a lot about our mission statement, which is we consider still a work in progress. We know our why. Our why is to educate, empower, and elevate and shine a light on the women's game, women's hockey game. We want to give the athletes and the people involved with women's ice hockey, we want to give them the accolades and what they're due. And we want to hear from, players, coaches, fans, builders, anyone that wants to talk to us about women's hockey or otherwise. And I'd go so far as to say to take a page out of Lily Jovovich book, or her quote about taking a page out of a book, that we want to elevate women's everything here. So we're going to be talking to people that are in the sport of ice hockey and outside of the sport of ice hockey about just about women's everything. And we're pumped to be here and to do that with you.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think on the education part, what really keeps coming to me lately is the path. Like, what's the path to get to where you want to be as an athlete now? I mean, it's a great evolution of the game that there's so many options and choices now, but really, feeling what's best for the athlete, the family, of course, and as a whole. But this is something that's really just keeps grabbing my attention lately. So that'll be a great thing to explore with some of the athletes that we know.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And I love Kelly with the low key flex of the Olympic Games poster behind her too. That's awesome.
That's Pat.
That's great. Yeah, like you guys said, we're here to help shine a spotlight, use whatever connections, platforms that we have in order to elevate as many of these athletes and their stories as we can. Yeah, and they all have great stories to share, and quite frankly, they're not getting the shine that they should. And it's we're going to do what we can in order to help.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's lots of great podcasts out there now that are also profiling PWHL and specific groups of hockey players, but we're hoping to bring a little bit more college hockey into this, but that will be pretty college hockey heavy with our involvement, but also just to keep that net casting wide when it comes to talking to anybody that wants to talk to us.
Yep.
Right. It's obvious we've come a long way in a relatively short time in the bigger picture, but we have a long way yet to go. And hopefully we can be part of that continuous change.
Yeah.
Right. Kelly, you want to start intros?
Yes, I get to introduce Linda. Is that how this is going?
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting. Linda, I am going to say mostly nice things today.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
I have known Linda for a very long time, and it's all been great through all different stages. So Linda was a player at Northeastern University. Upon graduation, she went into coaching and was there for a great time and really grew in her level of professionalism on the bench, grew to associate head coach, made the decision to go back into a professional career as a clinical researcher, which I have done as well. So it's always interesting to have these pivots, but then we always come back to where our true passion is. And then into that, one of the bigger stages is parenthood. So being a wife and a parent. I'd also like to share that along that journey, when I was a player at Northeastern, I had unofficially started the Friends of Northeastern Women's Ice Hockey. And at the time when Linda was on staff and with the university, she took it to tenfold of the next level. And what she really did was brought everybody together and continues to do so. And this is such a big part of the impact for all of us, but also now you see the younger players, they see us veteran players, shall we say, come back, and they can see themselves in that role. So I think of Linda as like one of the greatest connectors, just connecting people.
Thanks, Kel. That's a nice way of saying, that's a nice way to profile my peer pressuring tactics. Get everyone back.
Well, you're always nice, Linda.
Whatever works. So that was Kelly Dyer Hayes, who was introducing Linda, and Kelly referred to her playing career, and that's when I remember Kelly, to date us both, when I remember the headline in the Boston Globe when Kelly was the first girl to play boys D1 in the state of Massachusetts for Acton Boxborough, along with Tommy Barrasso, Bob Sweeney, Jeff Norton, a pretty loaded team there. She went on to play for Northeastern, 4-time Beanpot champ and 2-year captain, along with 2 national titles. And then, as I alluded to with the Olympic picture there, the U.S. national team, named to the NU all-time Title IX team, along with being the first female member of the Northeastern Athletic Hall of Fame. Career 2.04 goals against and back-to-back team MVP. Career record 48-3-1, pretty good. And third woman to play men's professional hockey, and 3 championships down in Florida, right? Did you have 3? Yeah, 3 champions down in Florida, and still is psycho with the polar plunges on a regular basis in the ocean. And as she says, a bit of a hugger. So yeah, that's Kelly Dyer Hayes right there.
Well, thank you, Brownie. That was very nice.
No, thanks. Yeah. Oh, we got to practice when we screwed up the previous podcast.
No edits.
Well, last but certainly not least, Brownie. I'll take your introduction here. Brownie came to Kelly and I, gosh, what was it, last end of last year? It's been a while. He's been tapping us on the shoulder for a while to get going here. So we appreciate it. I think, Brownie, I've known you for just about 2 years now, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
Getting onto the Morningscape podcast for with you helping us cover and support our efforts, myself, Kelly, Mayor Ciampa, with the Beanpot in 2024.
Yep.
So really appreciate you, avid blogger, podcaster, have really taken to the women's game via Northeastern Huskies, our very own. I did look up on social media. I was trying to look at your social media, and I haven't found your beer league stats yet, but I'll continue to search for those because I hear that they're worth profiling. But, also owner and operator of Bulldog Painting out of Maynard, Mass. So go ahead and send some DMs in if you need any housework done throughout the year.
Mention the podcast for a discount.
I did notice that your Facebook still says you're engaged.
Yeah, we've been engaged forever.
Yeah. So, and
at some point, my daughter's going to figure out that we never got married.
The 2 most important people in your life are 2 great females. Your wife, Lori, and you are your biggest job, as Kelly mentioned, is girl dad to Riley.
Yeah,
a hockey fan herself.
Yeah. I hate to do this early in our history, but it's all because of Coach Nick Carpenito that we all are here. And I mean, he's going to
start throwing
it anyways. Just get ahead of it. It's because of him, an Acton Boxborough lad himself. So yeah, I mean,
Boxborough.
Oh, you didn't know that he was there?
No,
I was his lacrosse coach at Acton Boxborough. That's how I met him.
Wow.
Yeah, it all comes back to AB. All that. So that's us. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we've been dying to get going. Every time I saw you guys independently together, it's like, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? And I'm stoked for this because I listen. A lot of guys, there's a lot of idiot people, both sexes actually, but there's a lot of dismissive of hockey fans when they are why are you covering the girls team or the women's game? And I'm like, go to a game, watch the game. And it's not a different sport, but it's played very differently. And I think it appeals to me as someone like my co-host on the other podcast. He's like, you have to back check at beer league. And I'm like, yeah, man, you do. And I do. And I appreciate that part of the game. And the women's game, they all just buy in. And it's more of a team concept, I think. And I just enjoy the style of play. I'm really looking forward to the NCAA tourney, which starts in how long, Linda?
It starts in 17 minutes.
Yeah. So
let's go.
I think we should jump into the women's NCAA first. We can get our predictions in before puck drop, and then we can talk a little PWHL after.
Good point. So we've got 3 games up tonight. The seed or the field is 11 teams. We're going to talk about, we're not going to shy away from issues either on this podcast. So when we're talking about, the process improvements that we'd love to see, that might be a topic that we hit sometime, and why there's 11 and not 12 but 3 games starting tonight. They have the playing games. Our top 5 seeds are Wisconsin in that order. Wisconsin number 1, Ohio, Cornell, Minnesota, and Colgate. They received the 5 seeds, and then they pick 6 at large bids. It is based on MPI, so there is some semblance to where the playing games get put and who they play next. So we've got Duluth at Sacred Heart tonight at 7 o'clock. Or not at Sacred Heart. Duluth against Sacred Heart at Cornell in Ithaca. Only 90 minutes from me, but child playground problems stopped me from going there. She's spitting chiclets. So,
Sacred Heart, first time ever in the NCAA tourney. I don't want to forget that. That's a huge
congrats to them. And again, that winner will play Cornell on Saturday. Game out at Ohio. Again, the playing games are at the next seed that they will play on Saturday. So Penn State plays St. Lawrence out at Ohio. Winner will play Ohio State. And then big tilt, I think, Clarkson BU. That's 8 p.m. Eastern time. That winner will play Wisco. So it's just going to be great hockey. All games are on ESPN Plus, and I think it's time for us to do some predictions.
I will say it's so hard because you want to root for the Hockey East team.
Yeah.
But it's BU, so it's hard. Excuse me. I mean, at least it's not BC, I guess. So
I admit that I actually really enjoyed BU's style of play this year. I mean,
BU actually does play a unique style, and they have a defenseman. I'm friends with her parents' friends. Like, I think we've been in the same parties together, Shaughnessy. She's that real tall defenseman. She's got a mean streak to her too, at least on the ice. I don't know her.
Yeah, they did a nice profile on her in the Beanpot because her dad played.
That's right. That's right. Her dad played.
Yeah, so there was a lot of nice stories there.
But they have those sisters, the Welkies.
Yep.
The goalie is a battler, so it's like I'm almost talking myself into it, which is just I feel like I need to take a shower if I'm rooting for BU. It just feels gross. So.
And a great story on the coach coming back as an alum and really wanting to bring the program to the next level. I mean, that was a great story as well.
There's nothing better than coaching where you played.
Yeah.
Winning and coaching where you played, that's definitely icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But I mean, so what do you guys want to do? You want to go through? You want to give your predictions for the Frozen Four, or just rank the playing games?
I think we should do the first round, and then if you want to go further, we can go further after that.
I think it's on you too. I'm out. I haven't seen the other teams.
You just got to go by the uniforms. Then that's what people do in March Madness.
That's right. Yeah, she's right.
I am a uniform person.
So
the logo. So I picked my one.
Like we're both taking BU. Is that fair to say?
Okay. Yeah. We've got to take BU because of hockey's. We are not going to throw any kind of prejudice towards who we talk to, who we support, what kind of stories we carry, but we know where hockey is heavy here, right? So we got to take BU.
Okay.
That's a given. That's going to be an awesome game. The Clarkson Cornell game last week was amazing.
Clarkson plays they play a pretty similar style to BU also.
Yeah, that game's going to be great. I'm actually pumped that it's at 8, so it's a little staggered.
Yeah.
Again, we're 12 minutes away from puck drop.
But if you're
Duluth-
listening,
Sacred
Staggered
Heart,
Hearts is a good idea.
I'm picking.
Yes.
I know, Brownie. I know we talked about this, offline. I'm picking Duluth.
Right. Well, tell them why. Tell them why.
Yeah.
Well, I'm picking Duluth because they're mega talented, but also my college roommate and great friend Laura Schuler, who's also a Husky alum,
Yep.
is the head coach at Minnesota Duluth. So of course I want to see her win, and I thought I'd be there tonight to say hello, but I'm hoping that I can get there on Saturday. So let's knock on wood there with that. We didn't have that discussion at all today on text. And then so I got Duluth. Brownie, you got
Listen, no disrespect to Coach Schuler. I hope they do really well. I mean, I just want this to be. I root for the underdogs. It's like a stupid thing. I can't help it. And Sacred Heart, such a good story. How about this? Minnesota Duluth in OT.
Oh, now you're backing down a little bit. You're getting a little soft because
because I know you're friends with her and she's going to hear this,
No,
and I wanted to come on the
she
podcast.
probably won't even listen. I mean, she'll probably be the last guest we can get on here too.
Oh, all right, then Sacred
Don't
Heart.
think I'm like. Don't think I'm in.
I have fished
not
with
in.
her off
What's
the
that?
piers in Naples, and it was a good time fishing with her. Plus,
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
amazing at Northeastern.
He's into fishing for sure.
All right, I'll go Sacred Heart then, since she said she won't listen.
All right, we'll see. Penn State, St. Lawrence. This is the game I know the least about. I haven't really watched their team.
Penn State, where are they?
I mean, I like the representation from the league perspective either way. Moving on, but you do have Cornell and Colgate over in the top 5, so I'm going to go with Penn State. Knowing that staff better, and I don't know, I like Camper. He's a great guy. My good friend Allison Coomey just left there to start the program over at Delaware, so I'm gonna take the Nittany Lions.
Okay. I do know the Nittany Lions 19-1-0 and 10 points higher than the second place team coming out of the AHA conference. I don't know if that's what you call it, but that's what I like calling it.
That's what we call it.
Again, I'm just gonna go to be contrary. I'm gonna go St. Lawrence. One of us is gonna look like a genius, and one of us is gonna look like a bozo at the end of the.
Okay. Let's see what happens. It starts in 10 minutes.
All right. Well, we got it. We did it. So you want to talk Frozen Four or Final Four? Final? What do you want? I assume you're picking Minnesota Duluth for the whole thing.
I like that. I think I should. I think it's the right thing to do. And I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys. We could wait. We could do it next time around.
Yeah.
We got time.
Okay.
Let's do it next time around and we can recap the games.
All right,
I do want to point out today that the top 3 Patty Kaz, I think it was today that it came out, top 3 in Wisconsin has the top 3 Patty Kaz. So they've got Casey O'Brien and Layla Edwards. So the top 3 Patty Kaz, which is, I want to look back and see if any program has ever done that. If it has been, it's maybe been Minnesota or Wisconsin, but I'm going to look that up after this. It's pretty impressive, but everybody's deserving. You got a BMW, a Mercedes, and a Cadillac there. So,
well, that ties in. I had these 2 notes since our bungled recording. These things have come out. Casey O'Brien broke Hillary Knight's all-time University of Wisconsin scoring record. Wow. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal there. And then this was kind of interesting. And Kelly, this is something maybe you can talk about with your Team USA experience. Team USA has listed Layla Edwards as a defender for the upcoming World Championships, and she was a finalist for a WCHA Forward of the Year and led the NCAA in goal scoring. Is it a strategy to the stash? Is that what it is?
She's played in other international events as a D.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Coach shifted her back a bit ago. I think he likes her ability to be the quarterback back there. I mean, she's big, strong, smart, and again, just multi-talented athlete, willing to do what she's assigned to do to help the team. She looks great in either position. So,
like Big Buff used to be in the
goalie, I think she's all set.
Yeah, no, I just saw that. It stuck out to me. Because you don't see that a whole lot anymore. I know it. I mean, I don't want to relate everything to Northeastern, but I know at Northeastern they've been some talk about moving some defensemen up front when they had a deeper back end than they did up front. So, I guess it does happen. I mean, with her success, you think it's usually like a third pair defenseman plays third line forward or something like that, but not like the top.
I don't think any forward would deny, though, that it's way harder to go from forward to D than D to forward. I mean, I shouldn't even talk about my own. I mean, I was an okay skater, but as soon as my D was caught in deep, I was shitting my pants. If I had to be back there.
Well, from my extensive beer league experience, I do prefer it. Well, I always played D, and they moved me up to center this last year a little bit, and this year, and I was like, this is so much easier. The other thing too, and I don't know if you guys, well, Kelly, you're a goalie, but when I play D, you get mad really easily versus forward, where you're like do a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird dynamic.
I used to call playing forward, like, because I played a little bit of
right, and you played out
adult after hockey, and I called it recess mentality. When you played forward, you just do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah.
Oh, look, jungle gym's free. Oh, I gotta go over there to the swings. Like, you kind of still like got to hold true and protect your goalie all the time. So yeah, I'm like, this is like recess. I love this. I'm just gonna stay over here.
That's great.
That's a great analogy. All right, so then briefly, let's touch on the PWHL before we have puck drop.
Happy birthday to Alina Mueller today.
Oh, that was on here. That was
Throw
on
that
here.
out there.
Yeah, that was on here. It was going to be my last note. Montreal's in first place, followed by Toronto, Boston, and Minnie. All are in the playoff format, with Ottawa and New York currently on the outside looking in. It's still tight, though. I mean, these numbers are a little bit behind, but I don't think New York is going to catch anybody, but Ottawa still could make a run to catch Minnesota. And Ottawa also, I wanted to give a little story there. Their goalie, Emmerance Mashmeyer, she's the first to get 1,000 regular season saves in the PWHL. Boston Fleet goalie Aaron Frankel reached the milestone earlier this year, but Frankel's totals included playoffs, where Mashmeyer's didn't. She did it. She did it in a 3-2 win over Minnesota, but then she had to leave the game for an injury. But yeah, that's one thing about the PWHL. With only 6 teams, I feel it's like some of the deepest goaltending rooms in any pro sport. It's crazy how good everybody's goalies are.
They are. I mean, if you think about the goalies that are sitting on the bench waiting to play, it's pretty incredible. I think the talent pool the cup is flowing over. But I think, the strategy of expansion isn't the issue for expansion, right? So at this point, for one team or maybe 2.
Well, we talked about this in our bungled episode, but have you guys given any more thought of where you would put, like, no money issues? Assume there's rinks everywhere. Would you have like a couple of places that you would put teams?
Well, considering logistics as well for the travel for the teams, and that relates to finances as well. I had thrown out there Florida. Just again, you have so many snowbirds down there. My 4 years in West Palm, I mean, people really embraced hockey.
Yeah.
Crazy, great hockey fans. And, Chrissy Everett used to come over and it was just a great time for athletes to come.
You never know what name she's going to come up with. Too.
I know.
Greg Norman used to come too, and I did have to really work hard to focus on the puck when the Shack was in the house. So anyway, Florida's a great place for hockey. It's got a lot of options.
They look pretty good in Carolina.
I think Seattle. I mean, I know that's where they went. I'm not, I'm just picking a takeover tour place. I just think the whole stuff that's happened in Seattle with Jess Campbell and just all of that has got fire to it. And it's just it's a open thinking market, right? Yep. In that area. Close to Vancouver, which I know was a consideration. Like they might be able to hit 2 birds with one stone if they have a team out there. I guess I was a little different when we were talking about it before, but I thought about it some more, and I think it would be Seattle would be great.
That's a great option, Linda.
Do you think it's paired? Like if they say, okay, we're going to do Seattle and the Vegas Golden Knights owner really wants a team, will they just do the two, Seattle, Vegas? Or if they say we're going to do Florida, they had a pretty good success with the takeover tour in Carolina. So there's your two, or maybe Atlanta, which is already the infrastructure is already in place. Or my hope is Quebec. Could they then do Detroit? Because they take, I don't know if they've already been there, but they're going to Detroit, I believe. Did they already do it?
Detroit is next or no?
Okay, yeah. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, it might be the end of this month. I can't remember the date.
So
but,
I wonder if they're thinking pairs like that and put two teams close geographically, because then you get the natural rivalry, and then you can even maybe coordinate the scheduling with playing. I don't know how that all works. It's way above my pay grade, but it's just a curious thought, because it doesn't seem to be a shortage of markets that want to have a team.
No, and I think looking up the takeover tour now because I'm curious about Detroit. But at the end of the day, this is how I feel like it was when the team names came out, and we were like, I was listening to it and I was like, what are these names? What are these? We don't know. We're not the experts, like you said.
Right.
We don't know what the factors are for adding teams and if it's going to be one or two. I haven't really specifically read anywhere if there's a number on it or when it's going to happen. But we know that a lot of time and energy and research is going into it, and a lot of lobbying from the places that want a team. That's been the coolest part about it for me, is listening to Denver chant, "We want a team," at a women's hockey event.
It's really amazing when you think about it, like how
it's incredible. It's incredible. And I think, Kelly, you said this in we're going to keep talking about our bungled. We're going to just recap our podcast that didn't.
We had some pretty good chit chat.
We had some good chit chat.
Well, you said something about access and I said, I got a pass on last Friday and Saturday to watch all the games. And you were like, listen to that. You're just saying you're just sitting down in your living room and you're flipping through the games, which is puck drop now, by the way. I think that's amazing. They did drop them down in cities where they did some research or, saw an opportunity, and people came. I mean, the lowest one was probably Buffalo, and that's the one I went to. I think Raleigh beat Buffalo, right?
Yeah,
Buffalo was only about 8,500, which was disappointing.
Raleigh didn't beat it by much. I think Raleigh was under 9. So it's right there.
Buffalo was still great. Like, the people that were there were the right people.
Right.
That's kind of how Saugus is. I think when you're in Saugus, you want more people to be there, but it's loud and it's raucous and they're into the game. Buffalo was like that too. They only had people in the lower bowl, so they were able to condense it. And there were a lot of Boston fans there too. A lot of people came. There was a season ticket holder from Boston that came to Buffalo.
Buffalo's a low-key fun. It's a fun place to go. They're into the sports, and it's kind of the Buffalo mentality. The Sabres, the Bills, it's always been like, this is our thing, and we're rabid fans. It's a great sports town.
And we need to know, which we don't, who's involved, right? Are the Pagulas involved in Buffalo? Like, are they going to get involved and get behind it? That's helpful, So there's so many factors that we don't know, but again, it's just impressive that people are showing up and wanting to support it, and rising tides raise all ships, hopefully.
That's it. And you touched upon, speaking of Saugus, the fleet sold out of Gannis, which was lined out around the block to get in, which is crazy.
Yeah, and they have their second one of that coming up again. Yep. And I had heard even before this one that was close to being sold out. So hopefully they do it twice.
That's a great building too.
And can they move there? I mean, again, we're not the experts, right? Like, what does it take to move a team? What agreement did they make with Saugus to stay there? And would it be better? I mean, I tried to see the silver lining and thought it was great that it was maybe out of the city and New Hampshire could come down and all of those things, but it sounds like it's not as easy as jumping on the commuter rail.
we talked about it before, is that the infrastructure, again, Lowell, it's tough. It's an old mill city. There's like 2-3 different ways in. The parking garage is a gong show, and you can get stuck there for hours. I mean, we went in the rain, and it took us like 2 hours, and there's no public transit. You start like you have these players coming out of BU, BC, Northeastern, Harvard, all going to the PWHL. You know, there's a built-in fan base that are in the city, that are still in school. So if you're a junior in college right now at Northeastern or BU, and Shaughnessy or Irving goes to the PWHL, you're going to remember them and say, oh, hey, they're playing over at Aganis. It's Wednesday night. You guys want to go? Tickets are $15. You hop on the train and go. It's a great game. You know, that's what they don't have in Lowell. So it'll be interesting. Aganis, I believe, is owned by the city. I don't think that's owned by the school. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Walter Brown is owned by the school and Aganis is owned by the city. Because we were talking about it of what Northeastern's going to do with Matthews when Matthews gets reconstructed. So,
right.
Yeah. And then my only other last thing on the PWHL, another Northeastern alumni, get used to hearing that. Montreal player Maureen Murphy made a $10,000 donation to support the Black Girl Hockey Club. I don't know if you guys know this, but Murph is like unbelievable in terms of her generosity with her time and cash. Mm-hmm. She was the 2024 Hockey for All award winner to her dedication and volunteer work. She donated nearly 600 hours to various Montreal volunteer groups last year.
You did hear that.
It's an absolute beauty. I mean, that's just what a great person to take that time out.
And there's so many more.
Oh, yeah. I don't mean
humanitarians out there. And I mean, Hockey Humanitarian is actually one of the areas where we're, hopefully when we develop our segments and we're looking at different areas, we're definitely going to be looking to talk to some of those hockey humanitarians because it's a bigger life thing too, right?
Yeah.
Like what hockey sets you up for, what playing women's hockey has set you up for in life.
So one of the things we were talking about doing, again, to see how the sausage is made, is plus minus every week. So I'm going to count that Murph as my plus. So Murph, if you're listening to this, you're the inaugural plus of brownies on Breaking the Glass.
Do your thumbs up thing.
Oh, does that? I can get it to work. Oh, there you go. There's the fireworks. The fireworks from Murph. Yeah, she was. I interviewed her a few years ago on the Morning Skate. She was like the valedictorian. I remember being very nervous. I'm like, you're probably the smartest person we've ever had on the podcast. So good kid. Good for her.
Beautiful speaker too. I heard her talk a few times as a captain and everything. She just did a magnificent job.
Yeah.
No, awesome. She's aces.
The Takeover Tour is in Detroit on Sunday.
Oh, perfect. Look at that.
16th. Yeah.
Better to be lucky than good. There you go. So, yeah, that was pretty much what we envisioned this podcast to be. We were going to we thought it'd be fun to introduce some different segments, and we thought it'd be fun to ask each other a few questions. We did this the other podcast, but I'm going to go new questions and then spring my old questions on you at a later date when you're not prepared for it. So unless one of you want to go first, I can fire one off. We can go around the room like round robin, whatever you guys want to do.
Round robin.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Would you rather be able to speak any language in the world or talk to animals?
Talk to animals. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I think talk to animals.
I agree. And I'm going to give a shout out to Lily Brazes from Northeastern because she had the best answer ever to this question. She told me she wanted to find out if her dog had an accent. Which I wouldn't. My brain just doesn't work that way. I just thought it was hilarious when she asked me that, or when she answered that. Sorry.
All right, I'll go next. I did repick my would you rather as well.
Okay.
I see that I have an awesome would you rather book for my 8-year-old. So, but whether it involves you or not, what off the top of your head, coolest hockey moment?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the one I said. I'll make it a 2-part. I'll involve college hockey. Being at the Beanpot at the first one at TD Garden was pretty sick, and thankfully, Skylar Irving got the game winner in OT. And Mr. Irving, if you're listening, still waiting for you to get that QR tattoo QR code tattoo of the goal. But for me personally, I got to skate on the old garden ice that Bobby Orr skated on, that Wayne Cashman, Derek Sanderson, Bobby Carpenter, Ray Bork, all those guys. And it was just a thrill. I mean, I can still remember how nervous I was just walking up to the ice because I was like, holy. So there was like, I don't know, maybe 100 people in the stands. It was like there was a lot of people, but I got to skate on that ice. And I told you guys I saved the ice from my skates, and then my mom threw it away a few years later, but I still had it for a while. But that was mine.
I think it would be cool if you had like that little Ziploc bag of ice in your freezer.
I agree. You take it up with my mom. Yeah.
Not me. I'm like, yuck.
Yeah.
What about you, Cal?
It's kind of a weird one because it's not like a happy moment, but I'd have to go with the 1990 World Championships, which were in Ottawa. And when Team Canada scored their first goal off of me, which is not the great part, the place erupted. And I had never experienced, especially I guess maybe being down on the ice, like what the impact of people cheering could actually do to your body. I mean, I could feel the vibration of them cheering in my rib cage. And I'm like, okay, so I'm really disappointed that that goal went in, but oh my goodness gracious.
I was there. I was in the stands.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was 10,000 people. So at the time, obviously the largest crowd to watch women.
And pink uniforms.
Yeah, white and pink. White pants.
And pink Canada wore.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll find a picture of that. I'll find a picture of that for next time.
Well, if you find it, we can put it up on our socials.
Yeah.
But it was just, an amazing, and again, to sort of like separate myself from the game at that moment and be like, wow, this is crazy. Just to feel that energy for the women's ice hockey game. It was pretty intense.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
What's yours, Linda?
Oh man, that bean pot last year, walking out to that loge area, just had gotten separated from a bunch of people, but it was with my brother and my sister-in-law, and just heard the anthem starting, heard everything getting going, and the teams were lining up and the lights were going down, and we were like, we gotta go. And we were probably running with a beer or something and trying not to spill it, and got out to the loge to go find seats, and we couldn't find any. And the lights had just gone down, and the magnitude of that moment. I mean, Kelly knows because we just worked our tails off to just didn't stop. Like I was transferring tickets to people like right before the game. Like, oh, you're coming? Oh, okay. Oh, you need 3 more? Hold on. Like while I was in the building. So that was a cool moment. It was just chills and relief, a lot of relief, and just very overwhelming.
It's all about the
Pretty
energy.
cool.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, you're a women's hockey fan, and if you haven't been to a Beanpot game, first round or at the Garden, you should definitely go. It's the best. I mean, take the records out, throw the records out of the window. The way these teams go at each other, it's all that it's meant to be. It's unbelievable, and the atmosphere at the Garden is bonkers. You don't you talk about when you were talking about running out because the lights were going. I remember we were up in the press box. And everyone just got quiet in the press box. I mean, I don't have that much experience in the fancy press boxes, so I don't really know what it's like. But everyone was just soaking it in, and you didn't want to miss any of it, you know? You just didn't want to miss it. And Kelly, I wanted to ask with your story, have either one of you guys ever skated the canal in Ottawa?
Skated where?
The river, the river that runs through.
Oh, no, the canal. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I've done that.
You have?
Yep.
I've always wanted to do that. So
I would love that.
I saw the fleet.
That leads right into my question. Can I ask my question now?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So if you could envision a clean sheet of ice anywhere, because that's one of my favorite things, where would it be? Like what location? So that was my lead in from your comment, Brownie.
I think I would love to have like a lake house and just be able to just walk outside. I know people have this, and I know people who do this all the time, but I just think it would be cool to have it be like a pond or a lake and just be right outside your back door.
Yeah.
You know, you could, have a fire pit right there, but you could also lace up your skates, go play a little bit, mess around, bring your kids out. In my case, for sure. And then come back and have a beer and sit around the fire.
Yeah, the first thought that pops in my head is that Lake Louise, way up in Canada, or maybe up somewhere in Banff, up in Alberta. Those picturesque settings where you have to get like helicoptered in, like a Mystery Alaska. I just would be so cool, but I'd almost want to pick somewhere that there's never been a game played, if that makes sense. Like, take helicopters and up where it's got to be careful for polar bears. That would be just so cool, Oh, I guess that would be something like that. What about you, Kel?
Same thing, just sort of that whole image of outdoor ice and, no snow, no crystallization, just clean sheet, probably sunrise, just coming out. And as you're getting ready, the sun's coming up and it just all comes alive in front of you.
With a heated
hut. Love skating outdoors. With a what?
With a heated hut, just as long as you have a little warm station.
Yeah, I was going to say not too cold.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cold.
And someone to take care of the polar bears, just in case. All right, so mine is then, if it's your own, all right, so the Linda Lundergan, the Kelly Dyer Hayes, your own music festival. Any artist, living or dead, give me your three. Top three. Like, you could pick anybody, living or dead.
Well, let me just jump in. I did go see Taylor Swift in London this year, and she was absolutely unbelievable. Like, even aside from the music, which was incredible, but it was like an athletic performance in high heels for 3.5 hours. So my respect for her as a songwriter, singer, performer, business person, all of that. So I'd have to put Taylor Swift top on that list. Okay. And other than that, I am really random. I love James Taylor. I'm more of a soft, mellow rock type of person.
That's two. One more.
Oh, geez. That's a lot of pressure. I'm trying to think of somebody who's alive.
It says alive or dead.
Yeah, you could be someone dead.
Then I have to go to Jim Croce.
Jim Croce? Good one. Yeah. That's a good one.
Well, I, confess my love for Rob Thomas, so I'm going to pick Matchbox 20.
You didn't have to
in our last Bumble podcast again. So Matchbox 20, great live act. I'm going to take Pink.
Oh,
yeah.
So they're going to be a lot of stage changes there. And then it's going to count as one, but it's going to be Elton John and Billy Joel dueling pianos.
Okay.
But it counts as one.
All right, we'll allow that. I'm going to go the Beatles, Prince, and I'm going to go, because I've seen the others, I'm going to go Bob Marley. Yeah, be kind of a mellow show.
I'm going to admit that I'm trying to get the game up right now while we're talking.
I think we should roll this and roll into watching some hockey.
Yeah. Well, you want to, all right. So this is all we're going to cover. We did want to talk about our sign-offs briefly. For those that know me from the morning skate, they know my borderline obsession with Jerome McGinley. And at the end of every episode, I wish him, if you see this big, beautiful bastard or whatever, it goes way off the rails almost every time. So I thought it'd be funny to keep it clean, but he has a daughter who plays women's hockey. Jade is she's just finished up her junior season at Brown. So instead of being creepy, I'm just going to say, Jade Ginla, hope you have a good day. That's going to be my sign off. And we'd love to have you on the podcast, with or without your dad.
Just tossing it out there, Brownie.
Yeah, just put it out there.
Yeah, just a small plug for that.
All right, mine's short one. Let me do my short one. Then you have a great story with yours.
I wasn't going to share mine. I was just going to leave it up for interpretation.
Oh, you should share it now. We've already set you up.
It's really powerful.
All right. Well, yeah,
right,
I recently lost a close family friend. Services about 2.5 weeks ago, maybe. And in my very good friend's eulogy that she did for her dad, she talked about how he never likes to say goodbye. When he hangs up the phone, he doesn't like the word goodbye, that it's too final. And I thought about it and I was like, that's really true. I mean, I didn't talk on the phone with him a lot, but I really remembered that from a time or two, maybe talking on the phone, or if he was like visiting when we were at their summer house and left. So she said he always said, bye for now.
Mhm.
So I thought about that when we were talking about sign-offs, and I just thought it would be a nice way to remember him, and it's such a good concept. So bye for now.
Nice.
Mhm.
And Kelly?
Mine's a little old school, but so it's a great day to play, and then I had to add and make saves.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Well,
Kelly will surprise you with her humor.
yeah, no, I know.
Today we moved this around quite a bit. I mean, we had the playground fiasco for my 5-year-old that caused some delays in our meeting times, and Kelly dropped in that she had just done her hair and her makeup, and she was disappointed that we were not meeting.
Yeah,
And
doesn't happen often.
that set me for a laugh out loud for sure.
She's a whole team. She had to send away the
You're the one, Linda, who taught me that when you have short hair, you have to use a lot of product. I'm like, how do you make your hair look so good? And you're like, product. And I'm like, oh man, I don't do that stuff.
Wear a hat.
Wear a hat.
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're hoping to get this out on a fairly regular weekly. And yeah, if you have an idea, someone you'd like to hear on the podcast, if you are someone who would like to be on the podcast, reach out to one of us. All our socials are at BTG Hockey Pod. So Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, I think, is the same. But
Facebook, yeah.
You can find us. And yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. So Jade, have a great day.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys.